Hello beautiful people, here's a quick review of the new American M4 T26 tank found at Battle Rating 6.0 from the Royale update. This Frankenstein tank is a mix between the chassis of an American M4 Sherman and the turret from the M26 Pershing. It is a nice addition to the non-existent Battle Rating 6.0 lineup for the US Tech 3. Okay, but now it has two vehicles in it. But let's start off with some quick pros and cons. Some of the pros. Gun. Obviously, the main attraction is the 90mm M3 gun, also found on the M26 Pershing amongst others. The gun can use all common types of World War II shells, and the APAC shell has a very nice armor pin of 173mm at 10 meters and still maintain a solid 146mm of pin at 1000 meters. If we compare this with its closest relative, the Battle Rating 5.7 M4A3, that tank uses the 76mm M1 gun. The M1 gun has an armor pin of 149mm at 10 meters and 119mm at 1000 meters. So even at 1000 meters, the 90mm M3 gun basically has the same armor pin as the 76mm M1 gun has at point blank range, and you get this increase in firepower with a 0.0 increase in battle rating. Turret armor. The Pershing turret also has increased protection over the M4A3 more common Sherman turret. While the turret of the M4A3 has 63mm on all sides, the Pershing turret has 101mm towards the front and 75mm on the side and back, and that is without the mantlet. And some of the cons. No stabilizer. The M4 T26 does not have the stabilizer the M4A3 does. This means that you will have a considerable more wobbly gun compared to the M4A3. Besides the lack of stabilization at lower speeds, when you make a sudden stop, the stabilized gun of the M4A3 very quickly comes to a still, while the unstabilized gun of the M4 T26 still happily wobbles slowly back and forth. No wedge storage. The Franken Sherman has no wedge storage for the ammo, and all its shells is not like the M4A3 placed at the bottom center of the tank. This means that if you bring a bunch of shells with you, the right side sponson of the tank will be full of ammo, easily detonated even with a low caliber autocannon penetration. Remember that the size of the hull is only 38mm thick. With the Franken Sherman, you get a considerable bigger punch over the Shermans with the M1 gun at the expense of a longer reload and unstabilized wobbly gun. The stock reload for the 90mm M3 gun is very close to 10 seconds, while the stock reload of the 76mm M1 gun is 7.6 seconds, so quite a difference there. The quick-witted viewer will then come to the conclusion that the Franken Sherman is best used at range. That way you can also stay somewhat safe, since you have no armor to speak of to protect yourself consistently, and no stabilized gun. That is not to say you cannot use the Franken Sherman in close combat, which sadly most of War Thunder consists of now, and even more so with future updates, and that just makes me shudder just to think of. The unstabilized gun will struggle and can cause you frustrations. You will rarely get the first shot off in a one-on-one engagement with it. If you go toe-to-toe with a common enemy, like the Tiger, you will have no problem penetrating it frontally, but you will not be able to get through the mantlet. On paper, in air quotes, you should be able to get through the mantlet of a Panther, but in-game it is very inconsistent, and I rarely managed to do so, mainly just wounding a single or maybe two crew members. At Battle Rating 6.0 there are no other vehicles as of right now but the M41A1 Walker Bulldog. So chances are 91.99% that you will find yourself in an object game mostly. Luckily the gun used on the 6.3 tanks is the same, so you won't have any issues in that regard. On the other hand, the puny armor of the M4 chassis will not have a good time. So my advice for using the Franken Sherman is mostly to stay back and use the good firepower of the 90mm M3 gun. And that was it for this quick review. Until next time, remember to deploy the die brakes. Have a good one.